All right, so understand that, right? We not supposed to worship. We not supposed to follow behind the oppressor, right? We all understand who our oppressor is, right? It makes no sense. How you gonna follow behind your oppressor? He is your enemy, right? Somebody oppressed your family for generations and generations, and now you smiling, wanting to be like them. It makes no sense.
The people you've been learning the Bible from, they've been lying to you.
Exodus chapter 34, verse 14. For thou shalt worship no other God.
There you go again. The Most High is being clear. You should not worship no other God, no wood and stone, right? You can't serve no other God. Blacks, Hispanic, and First Nation people.
For the Lord, whose name is jealous.
The other gods, you know, Christ. Listen, the Christian church, Allah, right? Buddha, right? All these other gods, Shiva, all these other gods, right? Has nothing to do with you, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, right? Read it again from the top.
Verse 14. For thou shalt worship no other God.
You should not worship no other God.
For the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God.
The Most High is jealous, right? He's a jealous God. Imagine you doing all these things for your kid, and your kid just continues to go out here and not listen to you, right? And do everything you ask for him to do. They do it for another person, right? That makes no sense. And that's what we are doing when it comes to the Most High. Because the Christian church ain't teaches that we are the children of the Most High. We are chosen of Him, so we don't understand our relationship that we have with the Most High. Right? We are His children. He told us to do this. We supposed to do that.
Verse 15. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring after their gods.
We not supposed to go whoring after their gods. We not supposed to go circle no rock. We not supposed to wear you know what I'm saying? Listen, we not supposed to do the type of things that we are doing as a people. We not supposed to do those things. We supposed to just serve our God. Let me get Proverbs 3:31. Right? And the Most High set it up for that. That's why we in the conditions we in. We thought that, you know what, if I circle a rock a couple times and I pray 5 times a day, faith, right, that's going to save us as a people. It doesn't. Right? Most of the people in our community, that's why you see a Christian church on every ghetto, every block next to the liquor store in most hoods, right? Because it does nothing for our people. Right? It's entertainment. Right? That's all it is. It's not fixing our people. So we need to understand that, right? All these years, how many times we done marched and sung, we should overcome. Only way you're going to overcome is by getting into these scriptures, right? And understanding that blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people are the people of the Bible and getting the ISUPK. That's the only way.
That's right.
Other than that, you're just not going to get it. It's not the truth. It don't matter if you believe that, because I'm a Christian, that God is not the God of the Bible. No matter if you believe in Allah, that God is not the God of the Bible. It don't matter if you believe in Shiva or Buddha. That God is nothing to do with the Bible. And the God has nothing to do with blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Continue reading.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Read it again.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
It says, read it again, Salaki.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Envy thou not the oppressor. The word envy, right, means you jealous. Are you jealous of the oppressor, right? And you choose none of his ways. Think about it like we think dreads is black. We think wearing dreads is black culture, right? That has nothing to do with us. That's Rastafarian. That gives that's praise and worship to the Shiva God, right? That's where dreads come from. You can look it up, right? But we thought that was something for us black people. We thought we came up with that. No, you still worshiping. Listen, practices you do, worship another God, right? And understand that. That's why it says, do what?
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Envy thou none of the oppressor. Do not be impressed. Do not be jealous of the way the oppressor lives, right? That has nothing to do with us. Right? The only way that they got to where they got is from rape, murder, and killing. That's how they got there. Right? They didn't get there from following the laws of the Most High. All right, so understand that, right? We not supposed to worship. We not supposed to follow behind the oppressor, right? We all understand who our oppressor is, right? It makes no sense. How you gonna follow behind your oppressor? He is your enemy, right? Somebody oppressed your family for generations and generations, and now you smiling, wanting to be like them. It makes no sense, right? We won't do that. We won't do that for our friend down the street who we ended up having a beef with. We see him as our enemy. But the oppressor has oppressed our people continuously for centuries and generations, and yet we still follow behind them, right? It makes no sense. You don't see the Jewish man, right, being cool with the German. You don't see that, right? So why are blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people trying to be best friends and follow behind the oppressor, the devil, right? The white man. Continue. You got.
God, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good.
It says, woe unto them. The word woe means destruction. Destruction unto them who does what?
Call evil good.
Call evil good. You know who call evil good? See the oppressor, right? He cunning when he attack our people, right? You know who he uses, right, to teach us evil ways? The Christian church. That's who he uses to teach us evil ways, right? The image right here of Christ, right, teaches us, that's what we learned growing up, that Christ was a white man, right? Christ ain't no white man, right? The scriptures brought it out that he ain't no white man. Christ looks just like me, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, right? Everybody in this book look like blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. This is our history book, right? This is no other nations. No other nation can teach you about this book but blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people. Read it again.
Woe unto them that call evil good.
Woe unto them that call evil good, right? These Christian pastors are calling evil good. They saying it's okay for you to live the alternate lifestyle, right? They saying it's okay for you to be a whore, right? They saying it's okay. But that is not what the Most High said. Woe unto the people who call evil good. Continue reading.
And good evil, that put darkness for light.
They put darkness for light, right? All they're doing is preaching you prosperity and teaching you that everything is going to be all right. They don't care about what you're doing that's going to destroy you. All they're doing is leading you to a slaughterhouse, right? Woe unto them that call evil good. Let me get Jeremiah 23 verse 1. 23 verse 1. And this has been a problem for our people, right? We got to understand that following these laws of these other nations and following their practices have left us in these conditions, right? We think the gang culture, right? That doesn't come from us. That comes from the oppressor. They was the first gangsters, but we still continue to follow behind it. That's why everybody want to be like these gangsters, right? That's their culture, right? When it comes to whoredom, that was their culture. They was the culture who had brothels and all those type of things in their culture. But yet, our people want to be a part of it, right? Look at our women singers and all that. They can't even have a song talking about regular rap. It has to be exploiting their body. Why? Because the oppressor said it was okay. And you know how the oppressor said it was okay? Because they pay for that music, right? They teach our people, you know how you going to get it out of your conditions you in? You're going to make this music that talks about unaliving your brother and sister, that talks about creating whoredom, right? That's the problem. Our oppressor, right? We need to stop following. You got it?
This is the book of Isaiah. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
Woe unto the pastors that destroy and scatter my sheep. Destruction. The Most High is calling for destruction against them, right? All the things we've learned as a people growing up, 90% of it came from the Christian church. And all the Christian church has done was destroy us as a people, right? And the scriptures say, what again?
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
That's all they doing. So what's happening is the Christian church, right, is they making up their own rules as they go along, right? And they're scattering the people. Because if you understand the Bible, one day you go into church and they say, well, it's okay for you to live the alternate lifestyle. But you read in the scriptures that you can't live the alternate lifestyle. Then you decide to go away. You decide, you know what, the Bible fake, right? All these ways, Christianity is the biggest plague to our people, right? It is a disease, right? And it's continuously destroying us. And these pastors are the ones teaching us these lessons, right? That our people continuously leave. Read it again.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord.
That's what the Lord said, right? The Lord said, woe be unto those pastors who scatter our sheep, right? You got to understand, right? Following behind Christianity has led our people to the slaughterhouse. That is it. Has not saved our people. It has not helped our people. It has done nothing. Let me get 2 Ezra 6 and 59. Because they haven't taught us the truth of this Bible, right? The truth of this Bible is if we come back to the Most High and start following the laws and commandments that He set out for us to do, we will be above all nations of people, right? And the reason Christianity is white supremacy is because it makes sure that blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people do not understand the truth of this book, right? It continues to keep us down in a lower condition. We're not supposed to be lower than all these other nations. We're above all these other nations. And that's what the scripture says. It says blacks is greater than all these other nations. It says Hispanics is greater than all these other nations.
That's right.
It says, right? And it says Native Americans is greater than all these other nations. That's what the scriptures say, right? But when the Christian church teaches us love everybody, we are all human, right? That's not the case. And what it has done is destroyed us. We don't let this noise pass. Right? That's why it's so pivotal to get away from the Christian church, because all it has done is destroy us and keep us in the same condition. It's literally like lining our people up and sending them to the slaughterhouse. Because the Most High, right, when He found out that we continuously breaking these laws, destruction will happen to us, right? And what the ISUPK is trying to teach you, right, is to follow these laws, right? Understand, this is how it's going to fix you as a people. Read 2nd Ezra.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess in inheritance with the world?
Listen, the scriptures is saying, right, if the world was made for our sakes, why we do not possess it? The reason we do not possess it is because of the Christian church. It's because we follow behind these oppressors, right, and all these other nations. What we're supposed to do is follow these laws and keep these commandments and statutes, all of them. Right? Not pick and choose which ones we should follow, all of them, right? How the Most High set it up, right? And because of that, when we do that, the world is made for our sakes. That's what they do not want you to understand, blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people, that the Most High made this world for us, right? We should not be at the bottom of this conditions, right? Read it again.
If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
How long should it endure? How long when are we going to get to the point where we feel as though, you know what, I'm tired of it? We done tried everything else. We done marched with Martin Luther King. We done marched with Malcolm X. We done tried Marcus Garvey. We done tried all these other outlets and all these other ways to fix ourselves and our conditions. But guess what? The only way you're going to fix yourself in this condition is in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana and keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one west. They're one west. They're one west. They're one